Welcome back to the Professor Zest channel. My name is Gabriel Vigil. I've been teaching in Southern California for a total of 18 years.
You are old!
Whoa. I'm not old. I'm just seasoned. That's what I am. In those 18 years, I've taught everything from 6th grade up through 12th grade, and I've been teaching social studies. Currently, I'm teaching 8th grade United States history. Well, today is the first day back at school, and so I thought, you know what? Let's make a video about my first week back at school. Now, the first 3 days, today, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, are no students. And so it's mainly time for planning and different meetings, everything else. And then Thursday and Friday will be students. So to give you an idea of what to expect in the video, Monday, today, we're meeting here at the school site. And so we have a variety of different things going on. You know, in fact, let me go ahead and put up the agenda for you so you see what we got going on. So at 7:30 to 9:30, we're basically going to meet in the NPR, and we're going to have a discussion, but welcome back discussion. I'm sure there's going to be different things of importance, different rules, procedures, and so forth. And then, of course, from 10 to 11, we have a guest speaker. 11 to 12, lunch on our own. For me, all that means I come back to my classroom or maybe to the student lounge or the staff lounge to grab something to eat. Then 12 to 1:30, another meeting, and then a 1:40 to 2:50 department PLC planning. So that is what we got planned for today. And then tomorrow is at the district. We're going to have a district meeting. That's actually at the high school, but the entire district's going to be there. Now, I'll be honest with you. I never heard a teacher say, what I want is more meetings. But it seems that's all we got the first 2 days are meetings. But then finally Wednesday, we have a full day to kind of plan our classroom out. And that's the day that all teachers look forward to, that we feel most productive. And then Thursday and Friday, students are back. And I'll take you along in that journey as well. So come with me. Let's see how this week goes. And hopefully you get something from it. So I just came back from our first meeting. It is now, about 9:52. So we're there from what, 7:30, 9, about 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours of meeting. The meeting, once again, it's a school meeting. So they're talking about, they kind of go over, some introductions, some new people on campus, introduce everybody. We did a little get to know you activity. The good thing is they always provide food, and so we got bagels this time, and so I just brought some bagels with me back to the classroom. Always provide food. That's at least a good thing. But once again, it's just kind of nice to see everybody again. 2 months, and they're kind of like family at this point. But 2 months later, and kind of catch up a little bit. But it was just a lot of information about the activities we need to do, the things we need to do at school. And so most of it kind of in one ear, out the other, because a lot of things haven't changed, but they're just trying to get everybody on the same page. So that was okay overall. I guess the one negative thing about it is this. I'm not sure what you want to call it negative, but last year we had an advisory period, which was about 30 minutes. And my goal this year was during an advisory period to go over with my students kind of some success principles. I listened to a guy on a podcast, Tom Bilyeu is his name, Impact Theory, and he has these 20 bullet points of things that he believes are important. So my goal was to create a whole curriculum around those 20 bullet points. I was going to create activities, lessons, everything else tied into that, and I was going to use that to teach my advisory class, success principles. Then come to find, as teaching goes, things are always changing. Come to find out that this year our advisory is only going to be 20 minutes, so a little less time, but they actually want us to, for that advisory, strictly to use it as a time for students to work on something called iReady. It's a computer program. So the whole plan I've been thinking about last year in the summer, and I actually started to design some of the things, kind of have to put it to the side now because I can't use it this year. So that was kind of the I guess, one bummer from it all. But overall, it's nice to see the whole team. Once again, I have a great admin. This is one of the best admin I've ever worked with. So it's nice to see that they're being proactive, they're ready on things, and that we seem to get the ball going. So anyways, what time? 9:54, 9:55. Our next meeting starts at 10. It's going to be a Zoom call. So let me get that set up. But let's keep going through the day. So we just got done doing a Zoom call. The discussion was LGBTQ, kind of creating a supportive system for LGBTQ. And, as the Zoom calls going, I started thinking back this past week. I remember it was me and my wife and the kids around the dinner table, and we actually started having a conversation about this, specifically about transgender using bathrooms. And and I'll be honest with you, it's kind of cool that my kids are at an age where we can actually have a discussion about this. I have a daughter that just started college. She's sophomore now, I believe, or freshman, sophomore in college. Son's going to become a senior, and my youngest daughter is going to ninth grade. But it was really nice to sit around the table and to discuss this. And of course, I shared my views, my wife shared her views, and the kids shared their views. But here was the cool thing from that conversation. When I was asking my kids if a transgender used their bathroom, how would they feel about it? All three said, yeah, it really wouldn't bother them that much. And I started thinking back, as when I was their age, if that was to happen, oh my gosh, that wouldn't even have happened. And the talk around that, it would have been a huge issue. And so whether depending on what issue how you feel about this, it makes no difference, in a sense that at least my kids, and also I see all kids. I mean, once again, I teach in middle school. It is my personal belief that they are actually more willing to accept people that are different than them. Now, I'm not sure if you came across it. It'd be interesting to find out if you did. In fact, let's do that. If you put in the comment section any story or anything you could point out where you noticed that kids were more inclusive of others, or maybe where they're more exclusive of others. But I remember when I was their age, things like that were really shunned upon, but today it seems like not only LGBTQ they're more accepting of, but it's different. For example, I remember in my classes I had a student that was a little person. Nobody made fun of him. Nobody. In fact, everybody accepted him, and he was well liked by everybody. And once again, in my mind, I'm thinking, man, that's amazing that can happen. Another student was in a wheelchair. Same thing, accepting. I even had a student that had Tourette's would shout out during class, and not one student ever, at least from my recollection, ever made fun of them. So a lot of things can be said about this future generation, and a lot of things are said about these future generations. But it's my opinion that I think we're going to be in good hands with this generation. They seem more open, they seem more understanding, and in general, more accepting of others. So I'll be curious to know what your opinion is about that. Anyways, time for lunch. So let me, got an hour here, so I'm going to go ahead and just grab something to eat. Then after that, we go back to the NPR for more meetings. All right, well, it is now 3 o'clock and it is time to go home. Just got done with the last meeting. So for lunch, actually, I didn't even have lunch, to be honest with you. That bagel and some other stuff for breakfast kind of tied me over. And for lunch, I was just working on stuff in the class. It's a teacher's life, right? You hardly ever stop for lunch. So no real lunch. Then we go back to the NPR, the meeting for about an hour. We had someone come in and talk to us about our English learners and different interventions we can do for English learners. And then from there, we went over to our grade department meeting. So I'm in 8th grade. And that was probably the most beneficial, because we kind of make sure we're all in sync as far as what we're going to do the first 2 days in advisory, as well as make sure we're in sync, because Wednesday, it's kind of a little different this time around. Wednesday's our open house. School doesn't actually start till Thursday as far as kids coming in, but we're gonna have our open house the night before. And so we discussed what we're gonna do as an 8th grade team for that. Some of the commonalities we have as far as our policies, rules, procedures, expectations, and then of course introduction. So we kind of map that out, so that way we have a 20-minute presentation ready to go the night before on Wednesday. So meetings are now done, and I'm just packing my stuff, getting ready to head on home. Now tomorrow are the district meetings, and those kind of go long. A lot of times it seems like it's a wasted time to me. So I came prepared. I'm going to bring with me tomorrow my laptop, as well as things I can work on while the meetings are going on. So I'm going to work on my attendance. I'll work on my seating charts. Also, the last 2 the way that it's going to work is we kind of like 5 different sessions. The last 2 sessions are lesson planning, and so me and my fellow 8th grade teacher are going to use that time to lesson plan. So definitely bring some stuff with me so that way it can be the best use of my time. But anyways, first day down in the books, day 2 coming up. Here we are, day 2. We just got done, or I got done actually about an hour ago. I'm kind of at home right now, but we got done with our lessons or sessions for the day at the high school. So what happens at the district, they put on this PD training, and to be honest, it's not something we really like doing, but I do admit that this actually was one of the better ones that I went to. And so in fact, I'll put the schedule up there for you of what we did, or what I did, because how they did it, said you got 4 sessions and you can choose what you go to those 4 sessions and what time you go to them. And so I'll put up the schedule here of what I did. And so the very first one was self-care. I mean, I wouldn't go to it again. I mean, it wasn't, none of them were bad, but it just definitely wasn't the best use of my time. So I wouldn't necessarily go to it again, but it was all right, I guess. So that was the first one. The second one, for my school, we're doing something called iReady to help with math and language arts, and I don't really know too much about it, so it's very informative. Not too exciting, but at least very informative, so I got something out of that one. But my third session, now this is the one that I really took a lot away from. Now, it is effective instruction for classroom management behavior, and what was nice about it is, as he was talking, was a lot of, yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that. It was nice, that reassurance of that class, a nice reassurance of that session that a lot of stuff he was talking about, I realized I was doing currently. And so it felt good to know that I'm on the right track. In addition to that, there were some other things he was talking about. I realized, I could tweak this here and there to make it even more effective and better. And so, I'll put up the slide. The slide right here is his like introduction slide, so it has information on it. I haven't checked anything else out by him, but this might be a helpful slide for you if you want to look at his information, website, whatever. Maybe some videos you can watch. But once again, it was a good training, so I'm very happy I went to that third one there for effective classroom management instruction. And then the last session, I actually got a chance to hang out and lesson plan with my fellow 8th grade history teacher. We work at the same school together and we do a lot of our planning together. And so it was nice to touch bases with him. I mean, we talk almost every day anyways, but it was nice to kind of clarify a few things. And so we kind of worked on our syllabus, make sure our syllabus is ready to go. And so that was a good feeling. For the most part, him and I are pretty much on sync. We teach the same topics. How we do it a little differently, but we try to keep the same pacing. We try to have the same assessments. So overall, we're pretty much in sync, which is a nice thing. So that way we have somebody, to kind of partner up with there. But tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow's the day where I get to be in my classroom all day for lesson planning, for making copies, for you name it, just getting everything ready. So tomorrow you'll probably see a lot of video of me at my desk typing things, working on things, getting stuff ready. But tomorrow is the day where it really all comes together. Well, it's day 3. It's finally time to get some work done around this place. So I got here, it's about 8:30 right now, and I got here about 7:30, so about an hour ago. And I just put together my to-do list for the day and kind of got a few little things just organized. So I'm ready to get a lot of stuff done. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna share my to-do list with you. I actually wrote it down on paper, but if you know anything about me or if you've ever been in my class, you know I have the worst penmanship. So I said, you know what, if I'm gonna show this to you, I better put it on some sort of document so you can actually see it. Otherwise you won't be able to read my writing. So let me go ahead and just show you that document real fast. Now, if you look at this document, this tells me what I'm going to be doing for today, and you can see it's quite a list. So let's go through this together just so we know what you can expect to see in this video. Well, now, I'm not going to do everything maybe exact order, but these are all the things I want to accomplish before I leave today. So update the syllabus. I just need to make sure I have the right dates on it, everything else, a few little changes. Create my seating charts. That's huge for me. I have assigned seating, so I can make sure that every student has a spot to sit that is designated for them. I got to meet with the secretary. I got to get some supplies going. Meet with the principal. Previously in this video, I mentioned how I found out that advisory period we're going to be doing something called iReady. And so originally I had something in mind where I wanted to teach some success principles. So I decided I'm gonna meet with the principal just to see maybe one day a week I can teach those success principles. So I just want to get his okay before I actually go ahead and do that. First day tomorrow, I talk a little bit about myself, and so I want to have some pictures ready to go of my dogs. That's another thing I want to do. I got to meet with my other 8th grade teacher here. We're usually pretty much right on as far as pacing goes and what we're teaching, but I introduce maps at the beginning of the year. And so it usually puts me behind for the first month, but you get caught up. So we're saying I kind of touch bases to see where he's going to be at so I can make sure I get caught up within another month or two of that. Create my emergency lesson plans. Man, you just never know. COVID yesterday or COVID last year, just, be one day I'd be here, next day I wouldn't. So I want to make sure some lesson plans are ready to go. Library books. Actually, I had a class set of books, but I got to return those to the library and get a new set of books. So I'm gonna do that. Seeka, it's a device that we have, and the Seeka, what it does is we could put something in there and print out like a receipt of some sort. So we're going to use it for hall passes, and it also sends a message directly to parents. So we're going to practice. I want to practice and make sure I know how to do that. I got to walk through my classroom, make sure everything's ready to go. That's another thing. Practice the first 2 days of teaching. So I know what I'm going to do Thursday and Friday. I just want to make sure I have my wording down and make sure I have the order right, so that way I can do that. Also, first 2 days of, it says teaching on here, but also it's going to be for my advisory period. Switch Chromebook carts. For summer school, I got some laptops. I need to switch those out back from my regular Chromebook carts, or regular Chromebooks. Get rattlesnake eggs ready. I'll show that to you later on. But that's what I do is I put it's a little envelope that has like a washer in it and a rubber band. And if you open up the envelope, it makes it sound like it's a rattle. And so it's titled Rattlesnake Egg. So you usually get a few students throughout the year, they'll open it up to kind of give them a little scare. It's always some good fun in that one. It's 3:30 now. It's almost time to get ready for our open house. The rooms open up at 4, so from 4 to 5 I'll be in my classroom, and then from 5 to 5:30 be with the other 8th grade teachers in the NPR, kind of giving a presentation. Funny story here, kind of left late to school today, so I was going to go ahead and change into my, I don't know, more appropriate outfit. So I actually brought my suit and everything ready to look good and professional. But I realized, since I was in a hurry this morning, I forgot my shirt that goes along with it. So I got my pants and I got my jacket, my tie, but no shirt. So I am not sure what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll wear these. Maybe I'll wear the pants and the jacket and the I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll figure it out. Small potatoes in the big picture of stuff. So that's what's going on here. Very, very good day. A lot of stuff done, as you can tell from the checklist. Probably the thing I'm most excited about is I talked to the principal about using one of my periods during advisory to teach success principles, and he's all on board with it. So I got to start planning that out. That's going to be a whole new ball game on that one. But anyways, so day 3 almost done. I'm going to be here till about 5:30 and get home around 7 when it's all said and done. But tomorrow's the big day. The clock is ticking down. We got about 20 minutes before students actually arrive. It's about 7:40 right now. We start at 8 o'clock. I've been doing this is my 19th year of teaching, and I still get nervous on the first day. Luckily, it's kind of an excitement / nervousness, and the more I've been teaching, it kind of moves more towards excitement. But I'm still nervous. I'm still a little nervous. But either way, man, here's what we got planned for today. Today's gonna be a fast day. First, it's a minimum day. And so we're gonna start with an advisory period. And so students will come in for 45 minutes. We're gonna talk to them about the school-wide rules and their schedules and lunch lines and stuff like that, kind of school-wide policies. That's for 45 minutes. And then we go through our rotation of classes. Once again, I have 5 classes and then my advisory. So in those 5 classes, have about 30 minutes with each student, and it's going to be real simple. For the first day, all I do is kind of introduce. But first, we get our assigned seats. Boom. Once we have our assigned seats, then I introduce myself, talk about spell my name, talk about how long I've been teaching, my family, my kids, and everything else. Then at the end of all that, I'll start asking questions about myself. Give some extra credit points. What's my name and how long I've been married for, and the kids I have, and all that stuff. And then I have a little slide that goes along with it that kind of shows my pets. But that is it. That's how the first day is. It goes by fast. And of course, by the end of it, my voice is kind of gone because I'm talking for 30 minutes straight each period. But that is the plan for today. And so let's get to it. I got a few more things to get ready, but I will see you at the end of all this to let you know how. Man, it's like a sprint here, man. I gotta go for advisory periods 1, 2, and 3. Then we had a small nutrition, like 10, 15 minutes. Then back at it again, periods 4 and 5. I gotta tell you, overall went pretty well overall. I mean, there's always a few little things. So what I do for today is I put on the board, as soon as I walk in, I put on the board, I says, sit anywhere for now, but we're going to move seats in 5 minutes. And so everybody comes in, and then once everybody's in, and then I walk through the classroom and tell each student where they're going to be sitting. That takes about 5 minutes to do. So I get everybody their assigned seat, and then from there I quickly do roll, and then I tell the students the plan for today is I'm just going to spend today telling you about myself. That was the plan. So advisory is different. Advisory, we had a whole slides to go through, but periods 1 through 5, that's what it was. And so sit down, got a right seat, and then I said, all right, I'm going to tell you about myself today. And so the day was spent me talking. My voice a little kind of getting a little raw there, but that was the plan for me to kind of tell you about the day. So I always have a story connected to everything. That kind of helps get the information out to him. So I tell him my name, Mr. Vigil, and I have a story that goes along with that, how I learned the name as a kid. And then so we got my name down. I tell them how long I've been teaching for, 19th year, starting my 19th year, all the things I do for the district, credit recovery, summer school, Saturday school, all this other stuff. And then I tell them a little bit about myself. And I put a slide up, and I just basically, I tell the students, they're just going to listen today. That's all they're going to do. But at the end, I'll ask questions, and if they volunteer answers, then they get some extra points. And that's one thing I do. And if you ever look at the videos, I always keep track of that in my seating chart. And so I did that today, and I tell them about, I tell them how I'm married, I have 3 kids, I tell them the names of my kids, tell a little bit about them. Then I kind of have slides showing them pictures of my pets. I have 4 dogs. We go through the 4 dogs and everything else. But we have about half an hour to do that. So in that half an hour, we do the seats, I tell them about myself, answers questions, and it just goes from one period to the next. So it goes pretty smooth. So overall, it was a really good day. There's always some few things here and there. Like I think I had to talk to 3 students today. One student, because they had their earbuds in, again warning, but they still came in with it again, and so had to have a conversation with that person. Another student was just kind of a little more rambunctious coming in. They're kind of more talkative, everything else, just kind of goofing off a little bit. So I had to talk to them. I went outside real fast, had a quick conversation with them. All went well. Another student, same thing, kind of just trying to get some attention, everything. So for them, I put their name on the board for detention. They stayed after, and I talked to them for like 1 minute. Just kind of touch base, let them know I know what they're doing and why they're doing it, trying to get the attention. Saying we can't do it though, and so it was a good thing. It was a good thing. So the energy is really good today. So tomorrow, I'm excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow, my lesson for tomorrow is this, and it usually goes pretty well. They'll come in. I'll have them do a worksheet called the Nacirema, which is America spelled backwards. It's a cool lesson. Anyways, they'll do that, and then I'll tell them my philosophy on teaching, and then that'll be tomorrow. So tomorrow should be a great day as well. So anyways, with that said, enough for today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Here we are. It's the second day of school. Students are going to be here in about 15 minutes. So I'm just going to last a bit of things ready. Here's what we got on the agenda for today. First, pair or advisory is what we do first. We have that for 45 minutes. We're going to kind of just have students log onto the computers so they can have access to their grades, and so they get that all set up. So that's what we're going to do during advisory. Now I'm not sure how long that's going to take, so I got a backup lesson for it in case it doesn't fill the entire time. Once again, always prepared if I need a little something extra. Then after that, periods 1 through 5 is my regular periods. I have students for 30 minutes each period, and I'm actually excited about today. The focus for today is my philosophy on teaching. And so what I do is two things. The first thing is students will come into class and they'll have 5 minutes to work on, it's called the Nacirema. It's a worksheet, 4 paragraphs. They have to read it and use 5 words to describe the Nacirema. And then while they're doing that, of course, I'm doing my attendance and everything else. Then after that, I basically tell them my philosophy on teaching, what I want them to get out of the class, why I think they should be here, and basically what my goal is for them. And then after that, we'll go back to the worksheet and finish the worksheet. We'll read it together, talk about it. And the cool thing, first of all, my philosophy, just so you know, is to get students to think, is to explore that gray area. What do they really believe? And to answer the question, do I really believe what I believe? That's kind of my philosophy of teaching. And then the cool thing about the Nacirema, how I wrap it all up at the end, is the Nacirema is spelled backwards. It's kind of a 5 paragraphs about the strange culture, civilization. They're kind of weird out there. But at the end, I reveal to the students that Nacirema spelled backwards is American. And the article is actually about us. And just the words are phrased a little differently so people don't see it at first. But once you read it, it's like they're like, oh, I get it. And so the whole goal is to get them to think. And that's a great lesson to tie that all together. So I'm really, really excited about that. Now, by the way, if you want to, I'll put a link below in the description. If you want a copy of the Nacirema, I'll put my email down there. So send me a copy so you can get a copy of the Nacirema. Also, my philosophy on teaching, I'm going to do a whole entire video on that. I'll just basically record what I'm doing today and put that in an entire different video. So if you want to see the full explanation of my philosophy of teaching, I'll make sure I'll put a link below as well. It probably won't come out till a little later, but I'll make sure I have that in case you want to see that as well. Anyways, let's get to it. Second day, feeling good. Well, that was the first week of school. Overall, pretty successful, I'd say. I mean, what's interesting is this. So I have one advisor in 5 classes, and in today's lesson where I was telling my philosophy and we did the Nacirema and all that, it was weird. At some classes, it wasn't good in all the classes. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't good in class, but you can tell some classes were more captivated than others. And so it's amazing how the exact same lesson on the exact same day, taught exactly the same way, can resonate differently with different classes. So I find that interesting. My assessment of the students so far, assessment of the year, I think it's going to be a good year. Now, as teachers, we always get together and talk about students. And last year's the best year ever. And it was a great year. Had some really good students. But when we sat together as teachers, as we're going through our rosters, there's a lot of like, oh, you have that person? Oh, you have that person? So this year is going to be a true test of just how how successful a school year can be, because I definitely have some, based upon last year's experiences, some challenging students this year. So I'll keep you updated on that and let y'all know how things are going. But it'd be interesting to find out how this year transpires. But I am full of optimism and I am looking forward to it. Well, thank you for watching the video. If you want more tips and tricks of the trade, just click on one of the links above here. And remember, stay zesty.